Afternoon, vinyl community. I wanted to shoot you a video this afternoon. As a matter of fact, this would be part of my collection that I have. It's going to be a mix and match with vinyl, some cassette, and some 8-track. As a matter of fact, that's what's going to start us out. This is a little bit of a Midwest flavor from where I'm at here in Missouri. Band I've followed for years and years. Actually learned about them through my older brother. And it is the band from Chicago, Styx. As a matter of fact, I'm looking at Wikipedia right now. I always follow this article anyway and update it when I get a chance if there's anything I see it's off. But this was their actually very first album from 1972. Well, actually the band formed in 1961 in Chicago and Roseland, a suburb of Chicago. But here's the I've been looking for this on vinyl for the longest time. This is the very first album by Styx. That's the cover if you ever see it out there. Great album on Wood Nickel RCA Records, which I believe they did 4 albums, which I'll show you all of them on there. But this one here, actually, the opening track on it's a movement for the common man. It's in 4 different parts, which is really awesome. Of Aaron Copland's Fanfare for the Common Man. And then Best Thing was the other hit on here, and I think that's, yeah, that was the other hit. And then we'll move on to, which I do have on vinyl. I did find it. I have it on cassette as well. Styx No. 2. Styx No. 2 album, which is a great album. This is the one that Lady was released on, and it was, I'll show you that too. I have the cassette of it. They re-released it as Styx Lady in 1980, because this really didn't, it's a really great album cover, front and back. But within the letters of Styx, yeah, it's got the band members inside there. It's really neat, and it's just basically on the white sleeve, RCA sleeve with Wood Nickel label on it. But I found this for just a couple bucks in the shop. I couldn't believe it when I saw it. I was like, that's amazing. And then we'll move on to the next album, which these are the ones I have on cassette, which I'd love to find on vinyl someday. And that is, the next album would be Styx Serpent is Rising, which is a great album too. This has the hits on it, Witch Wolf, let's see, I think Grove of Eglantine, and The Serpent is Rising. That's a great album too there. If you ever get a chance to pick that up. Here's another great album that they did. This would be their 4th album. Man of Miracles album. Just some great album work on that. And these are all on RCA Wood and Nickel. And then, let's see. Yeah, then I think, okay, that's Lady, and then the Best of Styx. Best of Styx was done in 77. Then we'll move on to where they moved on to A&M Records, which this album here, I think the first stuff other than on the radio, Lady, you would hear Lady and stuff like that, but the earliest times I remember them was all the way into 77, was the Grand Illusion album. But I had a mutual friend, actually an older lady. I used to stop by a liquor store. My friends would get, you know, out after playing ball or something, we'd get sodas and corn nuts and whatever. But I had spoke to the lady about it, that I had picked up the album, and she's like, well, if you really want to hear a great album, pick up the Equinox album. And here it is right here, Styx Equinox from 1975, which is like one of my all-time favorite albums here. Great album. As a matter of fact, there was someone that posted this about a week ago, and he thought it was a little cheesy, but it just depends on what you like. But yeah, I mean, this is really in-depth Dynasty Young synthesizers for sure. Great album. Actually, one of my favorites other than Lorelei on here is Mother Dear, is very melodic with the Echoplex system, which I have an Echoplex system, actual box that I got from my brother. And this was the last album that this guy here, John Kowalski, that was the last album he played on, was this album here in 75. So then next we'll move on to, which is a great album through and through, Equinox. It's one of my all-time favorites. Next album would be Crystal Ball from 1976. This is when Tommy Shaw joined the band, which, let's see, tons of great songs on this. Put Me On, Mademoiselle, Jennifer, Crystal Ball. That was the song that Tommy Shaw started out with, got him started with the band. And then there's the back of the album. I think this had a regular A&M sleeve in it. Yep, yeah, that's what it had. And then, let's see, this would be 70s. Okay, this would be 77. This would be the Best of Styx. which they did on Wooden Nickel. Wooden Nickel just started putting their stuff back out there, basically, is what they did. They repressed it. But this is the best of from 77, which was the same year as The Grand Illusion, 1977, which is a great, great album. This is the one that had Come Sail Away, Fooling Yourself, all that on it. The Angry Young Man, Castle Walls, the grand finale. Yeah, and it just had a lyric sheet inside. And that's the thing with that album. You get a chance to pick that up. You may get lucky enough to find the actual poster that came with the album, which I have it framed. The actual poster from 1977. Just wanted to show that for people to see out there. I've seen these on eBay for sale. People selling them. Either that or you just get it with the album. And then we'll move on to 1978, which would be Pieces of Eight, which is a great album. And I'm trying to think, Sing for Today, The Message, Great White Hope. Let's see, Blue Collar Man was the big hit off of this album. And it's a gatefold. Opens up with the band, which we can flip it around so you can see the full album here. Here's the full album. That was a great album too. Pieces of Eight. Let's see, that had a regular A&M sleeve in it. Yeah. Lyric sheet. And then we'll move on to, I believe this is 79, Cornerstones album, which was a great album too. Which this is the album that had their very first #1 hit on it, which was Babe. And then this opens up like this. It's really neat. So a silver liner, which you can slide the album out like this, and then it's got a photo of the whole band inside, which is really neat. I like it. That's one thing I do like. I'll usually, if it's a band I really don't understand so much, I'll still pick up the album if it has the special packaging art and stuff. That makes it really neat. I like that. And then, okay, let's see, 79. Okay, now this would be Styx #2. This is 1980. I found this. I couldn't believe I have it on cassette, and that's the thing. I found it a long time ago. I didn't realize it was Styx 2 until I found Styx 2. I didn't really just match them together. But this is Lady Styx. This is actually Styx 2 re-released in 1980 on RCA Wooden Nickel Records. They just re-released it, reprinted it with different artwork. But it's the same lineup of songs as Styx #2. But I just found this like maybe a month ago. As you can see, it's a little rough on the top. Something happened here, damage. But I still picked it up because I'd never seen it on vinyl before. I just totally, it amazed me when I saw it. I was like, what's the odds of picking that back up again for only $1? So I was like, definitely. And the vinyl's in great shape, plays perfect. So that's 1980. And then I really liked this album. This was a great album. This was another one that put them really on the map and got Dennis DeYoung as like the head writer after Babe. Tommy and the guys and JY and all, they allowed Dennis to do most of the writing from this point on. Was from the Paradise Theater album, 1981. So that's the front, and then this is the back. And then it opens up, which I'm sure, probably, I'm sure a lot of people seen this album. This is a really great album here, from 81. But yeah, there's another thing that's really special about it. It's got the laser printed album here, etched album, which is really neat when you shine it in. If you shine it in the sun, see, it's good. You can get it on there. If you can see it, the laser etching. But if you shine and get it under sunlight, it really, you can really see the Styx on it at the top there. And then it's got the two pillars on the sides. And it's not taken too well, is it? So yeah, the laser etching on that's really neat. Which I have multiple copies of that. I like to pick that up on account of that. And being that, I picked this up in about, I'd say about 88 or 89. Believe it or not, a friend of mine had bought a Jeep, a spare Jeep, because he needed a motor for his other Jeep. So he basically got it from a junkyard. We got in the back of it to see if there was a jack and a spare tire and a couple other things. But yeah, couldn't believe it. Lift up the spare tire, and this is underneath the spare tire. And I bought it from him. I was just like, sell me that, and you know, for like, I think I paid him $10 for this T-shirt. But it's the actual Styx 1981 World Tour. Styx Paradise Theater t-shirt. And it even it says on the back, I guess, I don't know if somebody went to Chicago and saw them, but I saw Styx at the Paradise Theater. So that's a piece of a little bit of history with some story behind it. Somebody had just threw it in the back of their Jeep under their, it wound up underneath the spare tire, and I washed it and hung on to it, and I've had it ever since. So that's a piece of rock and roll history there. I couldn't believe that when I found it. So, which actually, that was one of the first pieces of memorabilia I had collected through the years, which I have some other stuff. I have a Rush 81 moving pictures, which I'll show that on another video when I show my Rush albums. This here is Kilroy Was Here album, which matter of fact, it was probably 6 months after I got that t-shirt, I picked up this album. This is in, I think, 84, let's see, 85, I think. But anyway, I saw a kid with a t-shirt with this, and he said his older brother went to the show, so that was really neat. The Kilroy Was Here t-shirt, so that was really neat. And here's the back of the album. As a matter of fact, we'll slide this out. Little sleeve, because it's got a really neat sleeve inside. It slides in on the inside there. And as a matter of fact, I have this concert on DVD. I'll show that in a minute. And there's the back, there's the sleeve. Okay. And I have multiple copies of Kilroy. That's a great album. And then after that would be Styx, Caught in the Act, live. Which this is the Kilroy Was Here tour, live. All the inside live pictures and everything of the show. They performed, I believe they performed Kilroy Was Here, and then I have some of Paradise Theater as well on that show too, that live tour. As a matter of fact, I heard something somewhere that there was here's some of the live sleeves here of Kilroy. I'm doing Kilroy. I had heard that there was a show down in Texas, someone could comment on there and let me know, during the Caught in the Act tour, that actually the fans, I think it was at the Astrodome or somewhere, but the fans got a little irate at the band Styx and kind of tried to boo them. The crowd got rude. And I think it was because of all the dialogue between the music. It really wasn't, I guess the Styx fans got to a point to where it's like, this is not really so much a rock and roll show anymore. Because they did Paradise Theater, a whole live couple hours, and then as a theatrical thing, and then, the Kilroy Was Here tour. So it's like, I read that somewhere online at one time, or I think it was the Behind the Music, VH1's Behind the Music. I watched it and I have it on tape, and there's some truth to that. There was one specific show that the crowd did get a little rowdy because they were like, this is not a rock and roll show anymore. We paid for a rock and roll ticket. That's what we want to see. So, but Styx still a great band, so, I mean, I'm sure they, I think after that is, I think Dennis after that took a hiatus from the band. I think that was about the time that he did, as a matter of fact, well, here's the DVD. They finally released it. They did release it. This was the first time. I got this a couple years back, but it's got everything on there. It's got the Roboto full version of the movie, everything for the whole show. Which it has the guy with Tommy Shaw, I'm trying to think of his name, the actor, but it's at the same time, it's a couple years after Fast Times at Ridgemont High. The guy played Mike Damone, he's in it, he's actually in it, so that's pretty neat. I freaked when I saw that. I was like, wow, that's so-and-so. So yeah. And then we have Dennis DeYoung on Desert Moon on vinyl, which is a good album for his first solo album. And let's see here, yeah, there's the inside sleeve. You can see it's a little damaged there. But yeah, and most of this stuff I get pretty cheap, it seems like. And here's another Dennis DeYoung solo. I have on cassette. That was his second solo album there, which is Back to the World album. And here's one of, I don't have Girls with Guns by Tommy Shaw. That was one of his solo. I think it was 84, 85, somewhere around there. And then this is What If album of his solo stuff. And then the highest actually basically I got, well, in our concert, here's Styx Edge of the Century. That was like 88, 89, somewhere around there. But this is a great album. And I've seen them live about 3 times now. As a matter of fact, they just announced a concert. They should be coming here in St. Louis. I think it's in June. And they're going to be touring again this summer with, it's going to be Styx, REO Speedwagon with Ted Nugent As a matter of fact, Ted Nugent's going to be going out with him, so that's going to be really neat. But I've seen Styx like 3 times, and most of the time I do see him. I see him with REO Speedwagon for the most part. I saw him on the Brave New World tour. And here's actually, this is a concert that I saw him on. If you check this out on DVD, or I got this on VHS, but it is on, it's called Styx and REO Speedwagon Arch Allies. They recorded it at Riverport Amphitheater, which is now the Verizon Wireless, but it's in St. Louis, Missouri. Great concert, all recorded here in St. Louis. Great show. But I hope you enjoyed the video. I will be posting more. Like I say, like, comment, and if you like, subscribe. And thank you for watching.